There's a compound found exclusively in animal muscle tissue that very few people outside scientific research circles could name, yet it might be one of the most interesting molecules when it comes to combating some fundamental processes of aging. It's called carnosine, and it's a dipeptide that acts as a potent anti-glycation agent. Now, let me explain why that matters, because glycation is one of those aging mechanisms that's both underappreciated and potentially modifiable through dietary choices. Glycation is what happens when sugars in your bloodstream bond with proteins and fats, creating advanced glycation end products, appropriately abbreviated as AGEs. These compounds accumulate throughout your body with age and contribute to arterial stiffness, skin aging, kidney damage, neuropathy, and potentially cognitive decline. Essentially, glycation is one process through which elevated blood sugar, even in non-diabetic ranges, accelerates aging. And carnosine appears to protect against this process remarkably effectively. Here's what makes this particularly relevant. Carnosine is found in high concentrations in animal muscle tissue, particularly in poultry and beef. Your body cannot synthesize carnosine directly from individual amino acids. You either consume it from animal sources or you don't have it. Research comparing vegetarians and omnivores shows vegetarians have essentially undetectable muscle carnosine levels. This isn't subtle. It's a complete absence of a compound that appears to provide significant protective effects against oxidative stress and glycation. The neurological implications are especially intriguing. Some research suggests carnosine has neuroprotective properties, potentially helping preserve cognitive function and protect against neurodegenerative diseases. Animal studies show promise, though human clinical trials are still limited. But the biological plausibility is strong. The brain is particularly vulnerable to oxidative damage and glycation, and having a compound that specifically protects against these processes residing in your tissues seems advantageous for brain aging. Now let's talk about supplementation, because carnosine supplements do exist, but there's a complication. When you consume carnosine orally, it gets broken down in your digestive tract by an enzyme called carnosinase. This makes direct carnosine supplementation less effective than you'd hope. The workaround is supplementing with beta-alanine, one of carnosine's component amino acids. Your muscles can then synthesize carnosine from the beta-alanine. Typical dosing is 2 to 5 grams of beta-alanine daily. But there's a peculiar side effect you need to know about. Beta-alanine supplementation commonly causes paresthesia, a harmless but uncomfortable tingling sensation, particularly in your face and hands. It's dose-dependent and temporary, but it surprises people who aren't expecting it. Taking smaller doses throughout the day rather than one large dose minimizes this effect. Despite being harmless, it bothers some people enough that they discontinue supplementation. The athletic performance connection is well established. Beta-alanine supplementation increases muscle carnosine content, which buffers acid during high-intensity exercise, improving performance. But for those focused on longevity rather than athletics, the anti-glycation and antioxidant properties are probably more relevant. We're talking about potentially protecting your tissues, blood vessels, and brain from accumulating damage over decades. Here's my concern with the lack of awareness around carnosine. If you're eating little to no animal muscle tissue, your body's defense against glycation is substantially compromised. This isn't theoretical. It's measurable in tissue carnosine levels. And while we don't have decades-long human trials proving causation, the biological mechanisms suggest this matters for aging. The challenge for plant-based eaters is that supplementation, while possible through beta-alanine, adds another supplement to manage and introduces that paresthesia side effect. For omnivores, ensuring regular consumption of animal proteins, particularly those high in carnosine like poultry and beef, seems like straightforward insurance against glycation damage. For those avoiding animal products, recognizing that this is a specific compound you're missing, not just a matter of combining plant proteins differently, should inform supplementation decisions. The stakes may be subtle and long-term, but they involve fundamental aging processes affecting multiple organ systems.